Hello Chingus, welcome to this political, historical and sociological channel. Today I wanna share with you a topic that a Spanish subscriber asked me to talk about. Well, today is about greater transparency, seek to have access through artificial intelligence to what you think, how you feel, science to them. This is all just data that can be decoded using artificial intelligence. This was unveiled at Thursday's World Economic Forum 2023 annual meeting. The name of the presentation was Ready for Great Transparency, opened with a short video showing a dystopian scenario where employees' brainwaves are not only decoded to determine their performance in the workplace, but also to determine if they were engaged in illegal activities. While the scenario in this video is fictional, this technology framework is already in place. We can pick up and decode the faces you are seeing in your mind. Simple shapes, numbers, your PIN number for your bank account is what say Nita Farahani. She is from Duke University and she explained that the technology to decode brainwaves already existed and has currently been implemented in some use cases. What you think, what you feel is just data that in large patterns can be decoded using artificial intelligence. And different kind of devices to decode the human brain don't have to be as invasive as a brain implant, like Elon Musk's Neuralink. Devices can be as not invasive as a Fitbit for your brain. It produces wearable technology with wireless capability, physical activity monitors and activity trackers such as watches. We can detect emotional states such as whether you're happy, sad, or angry. And she shows headbands, hats that have sensors that can detect your brainwave activity, headphones, little tattoos that you can wear behind the ears. And she said that they can detect emotional states like whether you're happy, sad, or angry. She said that we can pick and decode the faces you are seeing in your mind. Simple shapes, numbers, your PIN number for your bank account. Farahani will go on to say that while decoding the human brain has its benefits, it could also be used for very nefarious purposes. The surveillance of the human brain can be powerful, useful, helpful, transform the workplace, and improve our life, she said. Adding, it also has the dystopian possibility of being used to exploit and bring it to the surface our most secret self. We will not have any freedom. We're gonna be slaves of the system. It fundamentally threatens that our self-identity is in some ways and threatens to become a tool of oppression. And this is in line with what Yuval Harari had been saying for years at Davos. We are no longer mysterious souls. We are not hackable animals. According to Harari, hacking human beings requires a lot of biological knowledge, a lot of computing power, and above all, a lot of data. If you have enough data about me and enough computational power and biological knowledge, you can hack my body, my brain, my life. You can get to a point where you know me better than I know myself. Imagine North Korea 20 years from now, where everyone must wear a biometric bracelet, but I think not only North Korea. I think that all the world, because this world government that they wanna impose, which constantly monitor your brain activity 24 hours a day. You listen to a speech on the radio from the great leader and they know how you really feel. You can clap and smile, but if you're angry, they know you'll be in the gulag tomorrow morning. The historian even devised a danger formula for hacking human beings, which he believes could be the defining equation for life in 20th century. That equation is B per C per D equal to AHH. That equation is, the meaning is that biological knowledge multiplied by data equals the ability to hack humans. The power to hack humans, of course, can be used for good purposes, such as providing much better medical care, Harari said in 2020, adding, but if this power falls into the hands of 20th century Stalin, the result will be the worst totalitarian regime in human history, and we already have several candidates for the post of 20th century Stalin. The Internet of Bodies law aids in the process of collecting the data needed to hack humans. This law is an ecosystem of wearable, connectable, implantable, or consumable devices that connect the human body to the Internet, much like the Internet of Things, LOT, but for people, for humans. In addition, greater loop adaptation could also increase global geopolitical risk, because surveillance states can use lab data to enforce authoritarian regimes. Examples of the Internet of Bodies run corporation of the loop is emerging from the so-called Fourth Industrial Revolution, which, according to WEF founder Klaus Schwab, that he also said he will be in the World Economic Forum until 100 years. This will lead to the merging of our physical, biological, and digital identities, transhumanism, like Elon Musk Neuralinker. The web is fully behind the widespread adaptation of love, despite recognizing the enormous ethical concerns of having an unprecedented number of sensors in our body, because this modifies our human body. After the Internet of Things, which transformed the way we live, travel, and work by connecting everyday objects of the Internet, now it's time for the Internet of Bodies. This was wrote by Xiao Liu, a member of the World Economic Forum Centers for the Fourth Industrial Revolution. This means collecting our physical data through devices that can be implanted, swallowed, or simply worn, generating enormous amounts of health-related information, which the ability to decode brainwaves. Humanity is on the cusp of what could be the worst totalitarian surveillance regime in human history. What would you do if you woke up one day and your thoughts were no longer yours? If you thought freedom of speech was worth preserving, just wait for your thoughts, your feelings, your dreams to come. In this nightmare scenario, anything you create can and will be used against you by the pre-crime talk police. In the George Orwell 1984, the talk police, original name talk police, in a language think pool, refers to a fictitious police organization presented in the Orwell's novel. The Orwellian organization is characterized by arresting citizens who think things that are detrimental to the parties. True crime is logically the most serious of all crimes sanctioned by the party. The talk police use machines called telescreens, similar to televisions with a built-in microphone, which allow talk police agents to listen and record conversations between people within a certain proximity with the telescreen. The party forces citizens, mainly those who had a constant active sex life or those who held positions with the party, the higher up the hierarchy, the greater the control, to possess telescreens in their homes and the office, eliminating all traces of privacy in the individual's life. Apart from the telescreens, they are exercise, control, talk, the massive use of microphones on the streets and even in the countrysides. The punishment for wrong thinking was to be kidnapped and tortured to make confessions of thought crimes, and ultimately, if the subject resisted, to be taken to the room 101, where he was broken for good. The proles, a term for proletarian, were virtually free from the control exercised by the top police. Delinquency was common and widespread among the proles, but this is not bad for the party, and it didn't affect it, so it was allowed. The control of the police was reduced to a few telescreens and the elimination of elements that were potentially dangerous. The proles have intellectual freedom because they don't think. And what was important was that the fervor for the Big Brother be maintained in the party, so that party would not lose confidence in itself and be overthrown. Unfortunately, we are not very far from what George Orwell wrote. Since we are heading towards a totalitarian control, since we are being watched from all sides, you will have nothing and you'll be happy. I really like to know in the comments what do you think about this. If you like, I would love if you give me thumbs up, share and subscribe to my channel to get more information like this and to get more people. Thank you very much and see you next time. Bye. 泣いちゃダメでも本当は言いたいよ